all-new Yamaha V6 Offshore F350. It's a featherweight knockout, the lightest 350 horsepower outboard on the water, exhilarating boating and incredible control in a powerfully light design. The Yamaha V6 Offshore F350.
Dave Anderson here with the Fisherman magazine. It's April 11th. These are your headlines. Got a lot of stuff going on to talk about. We've got opening day of trout season in Rhode Island. We've got striped bass moving along the entire south coast. We've got inshore codfish on some of the deeper shorelines of Rhode Island, and we've got some shad moving up the Connecticut River. Stay tuned for all that and more on this week's New England Fishing Forecast.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
Before we begin, we've got a handful of news items for you guys this week. The first one is all about those opening day festivities that are going to be taking place on Saturday, April 13th, this weekend. So in Rhode Island, trout season opens this weekend. No one's been able to fish any of these trout-stocked waters for about 6 weeks. In Connecticut, you've been able to fish just catch and release only, so that's what we're calling it harvest season. You can harvest trout as of this Saturday morning, April 13th at 6 a.m. It's not much more to say other than that. The only other things you want to make sure, you got your license, of course, because the wardens are going to be out in full force. Make sure you hit up the tackle shops before Saturday morning, because they tend to get pretty swamped. So you're going to want to go tonight, maybe Friday night, and get your license, get all that stuff. Get your bait, get your line, get your reel respooled, all that stuff. And the only other thing is just make sure you check your regulations so you know how many you can keep, and also just check the body of water. Make sure it doesn't have special regulations, because some of them do. Other than that, get out there, have some fun, take some pictures, and send them in to me. Next thing is we handed over the keys to the dream boat winner from last year, Bobby Cifarelli, and we got a little video of that. He even offered some tips for prospective winners, anyone who wants to try and win the dream boat this year. So check it out. Here we go.
Hey everybody, Mike Caruso with the Fisherman magazine. Today is a very special day. Yeah, today is the day our dream boat winner from 2023 is taking delivery of his 21-foot Steiger craft center console powered by the Yamaha engine, and this is an incredible day. I'm here with Mark from Diamond Marine and Bobby Cifarelli, our 2023 winner. So as we embark on the 2024 Dream Boat competition, which, by the way, awards this very same boat to our first place winner, along with some other great prizes. But Bobby, I know you put a lot of work into this. You fished hard. You really applied yourself, and I think that's kind of what it takes. I mean, you're competing against anglers from literally from Maine down to Delaware. Okay, but you walked away with the most with the most points. It did end in a tie, but you had a tiebreaker because you had the largest fish. If you could give people out there in fisherman land some insight into what it really takes to win this contest.
Oh yeah, you just got. You got to try. You got to fish it, and if you fish it and you give it your all, you got a very good chance of winning. And that's, it's pretty much what I did.
You had a really big blackfish. It was the first place blackfish. I think it was 16 pounds, over 16 pounds.
16.26.
Yeah, that's a monster.
Yeah,
that's a monster. Tell us a little bit about that fish. I know you don't want to give spots away, but anything you can do.
Yeah, that was a Rhode Island fish. It was a good day. We got that, and my buddy got a 12.5 within 10 minutes of each other. It was just a good day of fishing, and got lucky. Got to thank the white crabs.
The white crabs? Yep. And other species you had. Tell me a little bit about the other species you entered in.
I had a porgy, I believe, a weak fish, which I was actually caught from the surf, and then I caught I believe the other one was a bluefish.
A bluefish. Yep.
I actually got chunking for bass.
Pretty awesome. Yep. Pretty awesome. So how are you going to use this thing this coming year? What's your plans? You're looking at a great year.
We're gonna get some fish on it.
It's a great boat. This kind of boat, it doesn't draft a lot of water. You'll be able to get into some skinny water. I think that I've been on this boat before. It handles great in chop as well. It's a real kind of all-purpose center console, and the Steigers make really exceptional boats. These are very much handcrafted by people who actually fish, like Alan Steiger. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yes, it is. Yes, beautiful boat, great fishing boat. And I just want to congratulate Bobby.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It was a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it was.
A labor of love. I believe the last 3 out of the last 4 Dreamboat winners were from Connecticut. So the fish are biting here in Connecticut, so come on out.
That's right. And Diamond Marine has awarded, or been the awarding dealer of quite a few of these winners as well. And so here we are again with Bobby. We'll see what happens next year. The season is on the eve of beginning, basically. I mean, the fish are starting to show up, and you know, it is time to, number one, have your Fisherman subscription, because you have to be a subscriber to enter. You got to fish hard. You got to enter fish at your local tackle shops that are weigh stations. You can get all the information on thefisherman.com. But it is really a competition for Northeast anglers, right? I mean, this.
Yeah.
You realize you were up against many.
Yeah. Yep.
And some really hardcore guys who applied themselves like you, but in the end, it was you.
Yeah, I guess a little bit of luck played into that.
Exactly, exactly. What kind of fishing do you like the best? If I could get a little bit more from you.
I like striped bass.
And what you like? You like live bait fishing? You're a plugger?
I like fishing from the surf a lot. Like,
surf?
Yeah. Yep.
A surf angler won the boat.
Yep.
Beautiful.
But he also had the largest blackfish, 16.6, I think it was, right?
Yeah. Pays to have friends with boats too.
Well, now you're probably gonna have a few more friends.
Yeah,
I think, right?
probably.
Yeah. So you won the boat. There's a Humminbird Apex 13, chart plotter, fish finder. There is a Minn Kota trolling motor that's coming with this as well, and so you're going to be well equipped.
To be set up.
Yeah. That's good. Well, I want to congratulate you again,
Yes.
and I want to thank you for entering. And everybody out there, you know, be inspired. This is somebody who just, you know, is a subscriber, became involved, kept his ear to the ground, and you know, used the best skill he had to go out and catch these fish, and in the end, came away with the most points. Congratulations, Bob.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Have a great season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also wanted to recognize that Canal Bait and Tackle is having a 20% off all lures, terminal tackle, and line sale. Best thing about it is you don't have to go to the shop if you don't want to. You can do it online. The 20% applies to all. And 20% is a substantial discount, so I think it's worth it, whether you're living right around the canal and you hit up Canal Bait and Tackle all the time, or whether you live way far away and you want to order something through the mail. Hit them up on their website and cash it in. You know, 20% significant discount. And the last thing, of course, is the giveaway, which is ongoing. Photos are still at a trickle, even though we've got beautiful weather and there's a lot of fishing going on. You're not seeing a ton of photos. I've got a couple of good ones. I don't have a definite winner, so you're definitely still in play. It doesn't matter to me if you caught it locally or if you caught it on your vacation to South Africa. It just has to be a well-composed photo. Send it in to me at danderson@thefisherman.com or text it to the number on the screen. Just give me the pertinent details. Tell me your name, tell me the type of fish it is, tell me where you caught it, maybe the size of the fish. And you're going to put yourself in the running for this lure right here, which is a Connecticut Yankee dual action swimmer, a copy that I made. Really unique plug in a pretty unique color. And all you got to do is take a picture and send it in, and who knows, you might win. Moving over into the reports now, finally getting more diverse freshwater reports out of Maine, not just trout anymore. I am still seeing guys getting lake trout and splake. But now the largemouth bass bite is firing up, and some nice fish up into the 5-pound range. So that's something to get excited about if you live in the northern reaches of our range here. Drop it down into Massachusetts now. Let's start things off with James Jewkes.
Morning all. Out doing some more checking. Stopped at a couple heron runs. No heron up on the North Shore yet, but I know they're filtering into the Boston area. Up here on the Lawrence River this morning. And little PSA, they'll be having a cleanup at Rocks Village, Spiros, and a little farther up the river, April 13th. It's Rocks Village, the 20th here at Spiros, and the 27th up the river a little farther. Good way to get out and meet up with some like-minded people, maybe share some fishing tips and tricks when you're in these shad spots. They're not just shad spots, there are a lot of different spots, but yeah, everybody will have their, oh geez, I just seen my first cormorant in the river right here. Wonderful. But they'll have bags and stuff to help clean up over the long, rough winter here. So if you can, get out April 13th, the 20th, and 27th. Now on to the reports. Fishing has been good. As you can see here, the river is high. I should normally be down in this area here. But the river's still high, so, oh geez, I just saw, whoop, whoop. Nice. Probably some carp in there. But yep, the carp were active, smallmouth were active. You name it, it was active. I didn't see many guys catching pike though this last week. But I did see one guy. He's a really good fisherman too. I won't name names, but he had a really large catfish, that's for sure. But he puts in a lot of time. Anyways, Dave, no holdover striper up this way, but I know there are guys in Boston that have really been hitting them good. Sorry to be so distractive, I can't help myself when I'm near this water. But anyways, we're really getting hungry here, so everybody get out, do their thing. These fish are gonna pop in here very soon, and I'm sure I'll let you know as soon as the first shads start rolling in. We're getting close. Look at that. We just saw another fish popping right here. All right, Dave, thanks a bunch.
Heading down toward the Cape now, there's a lot of stuff going on the Cape. The freshwater fishing is kind of full bore at the moment. We've got really good largemouth bass fishing, seeing some really nice fish being taken, and you can get them on a whole wide variety of things. You can get them on big swim baits, you can get them on Ned rigs, you can get them on jigs. Guys are starting to use chatter baits now. Spinner baits are working. So really, really good bass fishing, and we've got kind of a trifecta of things going on to get those pre-spawn fish fired up. You got perch spawn, you've got the herring starting to come into the ponds now, and of course we're continuous trout stocking, and those smaller trout that go in are easy pickings for a big largemouth. So lots of reason for them to get excited, and that only translates to a better bite for us. Smallmouth bass are biting well. It's been more steady, hasn't really been like a uptick as far as I've seen, but very good fishing going on out there. Trout fishing has been excellent, which is no surprise, and I want to highlight the fact that Goose Hummock will be holding their fishing festival next Saturday, so the 20th. That's a great time for the kids, great time for adults too, so definitely head over to their Facebook page and check out the details on that. And on the saltwater end of things, we're seeing some holdover striped bass starting to fire up now, even seeing some nice sized fish into like the upper 30-inch range. A lot of the guys that do it though are very closed mouth about exactly where, so you're gonna have to do some snooping around to find them, but those fish are waking up. The bite has been getting better and better, and pretty soon they'll be joined by some fresh fish as well, so that's exciting. And then on the tog end of things, I have not heard of the first tog coming out of Massachusetts waters, but I talked to Tony O over at over at Mako's, and he said they will have crabs and worms this weekend, and he thinks someone will probably catch one over the weekend, but he thinks that the bite won't really fire up until the water temps reach like 48 degrees. Right now we're still 44, so we got a little ways to go on that. Last couple things in Massachusetts, I heard about a really big lake trout taken out of Wachusett. It was caught and released, but it was measured for the potential state record for length, and I believe it was a 38-inch fish. That's a very substantial lake trout. I spent a lot of time fishing Wachusett and never got one that big. And then the last thing is we're going to head out a little further west. We're going to check in now with Roy Leyve.
Hey Dave, Roy Leyve here with this week's Western Mass Report. Sorry I missed you guys last week. Fishing continues to be exceptionally well this year. I mean, it's been quite the season. I think it has a lot to do with, the warm temps we've had. But on top of that, we've had a lot of rain. So I like having, water to kind of pick apart. And this year, there's no exception. Anywhere from Central Mass all the way to the Berkshires, most places, ponds, rivers are pretty, high. Water's about as high as it can get. And we have even more rain coming over the next few days. So it's kind of wild that the fishing is as strong as it is. Yellow perch spawned last week, which for me is kind of like a, calendar reminder that, crappie will be moving in soon. Usually pike have done their thing and they're going to start getting hungry and moving out deeper. So today that's what I did. I went and chased pike and got some really nice fish. Biggest one was 39 inches. No weight on it, but, real slimmed out, all spawned out. But they're very active right now. Crappie are probably in like 6 to 8 feet of water. I got a bunch from the other day during the eclipse. Trout stocking continues to go strong. They started putting some tigers this past week out here in Western Mass and Central Mass. And of course, Wachusett has given out some really big Lakers. I mean, I think there was an 11, a 14, and a 20, estimated 20-pound Lakers caught within days of each other. So fishing, it's going strong right now. If you can get out, this is the time of year. It's just a lot to do. Obviously, also the first report of shad in the Connecticut River. Supposedly there was one caught, which doesn't blow my mind because we're probably only a couple weeks from schoolies making their way, up the coast and, even hitting Cape Cod. So fishing is just, it's here. It's anything you want to catch, anything you want to chase. Right now is the time. So get out, be safe. Catch you guys later.
Crossing over into Rhode Island now. We'll check in first with TJ Kopecky.
Thanks, Dave. Hey guys, nice to be back. I'm here in sunny Florida, the southwest part of Florida here, Clearwater, Capt Bay. I gotta say the bass fishing around here in these ponds has been pretty tough. We've had a day moon. Obviously, we had a solar eclipse. It's kind of messed with the fishing a little bit, I think, here. And on top of that, we have a spawn here with the bass in Florida. One good thing is I did hook into a gar. I couldn't get it up. It spit the hook on me. I'm not sure how, but it would have been my first gar I have ever caught, and it was a pretty decent sized fish. Other than that here, I haven't got to the saltwater yet, but I plan on 2 days fishing down in Tampa Bay for some redfish and some snook. And the weather looks great. We've had about 85 degrees and sunny here. I'm sure everyone back at home is looking forward to this. I'll tell you, it was great to get here. But the opening for trout season, it's coming pretty quick. And hopefully I'll be out there fishing for some nice stock trout, which the state of Rhode Island has done pretty well with in the past years. So other than that, I will catch you guys next week, and I'll be back home, and hopefully we see all your trout pitches. Tight lines, guys.
A few things that I'm hearing from Rhode Island waters. First things first, the holdover striped bass bite, as we kind of predicted last week, really fired up. We had some warm weather. We're seeing more herring moving in now, and those fish just can't help themselves. seeing some nice sized fish up into the upper 30-inch range. They're taking plugs now. They're taking big soft plastics, really anything that resembles a herring. And all of these saltwater estuaries along the Rhode Island South Shore are worth a look. And then going up into Narragansett Bay too. We've seen some fish up around Providence. There's been some peanut bunker up there. There's also a herring run on the Seekonk River that piles up some fish. So lots of opportunity to catch early striped bass right now in Rhode Island waters. Other thing is we've been seeing inshore codfish along Newport, Jamestown, and Narragansett. A lot of kayak guys are getting in on it, so you know they're close to shore. And you know, these aren't world record fish, but they are keeper-sized fish, and it's a unique fishery. You might get a tog as well, although most of the tog I've been hearing about have been coming from inside the bay. So if you want to get in on some black fishing, you may want to start in the bay until waters warm up a little bit more out front. Now let's check in quickly with Jeff Sullivan.
Hey Dave, what's happening? You know, I gotta say, the bite is on. The bite's been really, really, really good. I'm not disappointed, to say the least. But I just got back in now, and I was a little bit of a grind this morning. But then they started pushing up and they started chewing real good. The southeast wind I didn't really like too much. It was kind of a weird little mix up with the wind. And after the last 2 days of being like beautiful out, absolutely beautiful, and then it kind of cools down a little bit and a little bit more of a breeze. It kind of shut them off a little bit this morning. It took a little bit for the water to warm up to their liking. Yeah, I end up getting them pretty good. But yeah, I've been going to Mass. The Mass trout bite's been really good. The largemouth bite's been excellent. You know, I've been trying to find answers to my questions, and I finally got answers to my questions. I put the hammer down. I've been fishing in bad weather. I've been fishing in good weather and figuring out why they're doing what they're doing, and I figured it out. But every time I put a pattern together, I have to switch and find a new pattern. So it's actually pretty tough. But pattern-wise, it's been pretty tough. But the fish seem to be eating, so I'm not complaining. But other than that, the tog are showing up. After this new moon, I figured they would show up. They're starting to push in by the tide, it seems like. So if you guys need crabs, give Lucky Bait a call. We have crabs. We have sea worms. We have shiners for you guys that are going trout fishing on Saturday. And bass fishing, we got shiners. Night crawlers, mealies. We got everything you need for opening day. So give us a call. Stop by the shop. Say hello. I'll be there Friday. Saturday, I'm going to be fishing. So if you see me out somewhere, say hello. But yeah, I've been largemouth fishing like almost around the clock. I feel like I haven't gotten any sleep. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on, Dave. Status quo, the bite's been just ramping up day by day. And I'm going to probably try to get some sleep or take a little nap and go out later tonight and see what I can do at night and see if they're still doing their thing at night. So, yeah. So, same time next week, guys. Thanks.
And then turning the corner out along the South Shore beaches. Not a lot going on striper-wise, but there are some fish moving along the beaches now. Even heard of a fish that went over 30 inches, which is exciting. And, you know, it's only going to get better from here on out. I think one of the better places to check right now is up inside the Pawcatuck River. There's definitely some striper action up in there. And that's what I have for you guys in Rhode Island this week. Crossing over into Connecticut, let's check in quickly now with the herring biologist, Kevin Job.
Thanks, Dave. So a little bit different location from where we were last week on a very nice backwoods herring run. This is one of our more anthropogenically altered sites. So this is the Latimer Brook Fishway. This is I-95. Fish come upstream. And then you can see right behind me, they come through the small opening and run up the Alaskan Steep Pass Fishway behind me. So unfortunately, we're only up to 216 fish here this year. Historically, we were pushing probably about 10 to 15,000 by this time of the year. As recently as 2019, we broke 10,000 fish here. So we're hoping that things are just kind of a little bit behind because it's been a little bit colder. But last year we were down to only a few thousand fish here. But this is, this is the area that the majority of people who are looking for alewives in eastern Connecticut come to view this fish, because it's, very easy access. You can park right up behind us here, and you can see we've got, a pretty good viewing area. So anybody who's in the East Lyme area that wants to come down and see alewives, this is historically where everybody came. And we're waiting. We're hoping that, maybe with the warm up at the end of the week here, this run starts to fire up. But we did have, a number of fish through here 3 weeks ago, and we're really just waiting. And that's kind of what we're seeing across most of the state right now. Honestly, we have one run where we had a decent number of fish, we'll say two nights ago, that first warm up. So last night, most of our runs I can count them on two hands, unfortunately. We haven't had a single site that we stopped at that had more than 10 fish through the counter. So this time of year, especially with where the water temps are now, we're looking at 54, 55 degrees. We should be in the tens of thousands of fish. So hopefully others are seeing more fish elsewhere. Anyone who's interested in sharing, we have a volunteer counting program. People send me emails and text messages all the time, let me know what they're seeing across the state. So feel free to reach out to me. My email is Kevin, Kevin, .job, J-O-B, @ct.gov. Awesome, thanks. We'll check in with you guys again next week. Thanks, Dave.
Hearing about more striped bass activity in the Eastern Sound right now, especially around the mouth of the Thames River. Most of these fish are on the smaller side, like up to 23 inches or so, but they are there. Seeing more winter flounder activity up inside like Niantic Bay or around Bluff Point. Those areas, these guys are kind of upholding old traditions. It's a tough bite. But you get on those mud flats, do a little chumming, throw some sandworms, throw some clams. It's a good way to open up the season with a with a good meal. So that bite is, it's slow, but it's picking up, and it's something that you can do. It's a viable fishery right now. Moving over toward the Connecticut River, I am hearing about some herring moving up into some of the tributaries now, which is waking up some of the stripers. So guys are getting a few on like red fins and paddle tails, big paddle tails, like maybe one of those K-tails from No Live Bait Needed, or like a Danny plug. They're catching some fish that way. I did hear about one notable catch from one of the runs too. I don't have a picture, unfortunately, but it came from a reliable source, so I know it happened. 24-inch Sea Run Brown took a No Live Bait Needed paddle tail at one of the runs, so that's a substantial fish. Pretty cool catch as well. So we are hearing about that. Other thing I'm hearing in the Connecticut River is a few shad. So we're hearing about a few around the Cromwell area, a few further up. It's only just starting. There's also at least one shad taken out of the Farmington. So the shad bite is beginning, and if we see more weather like this, more of these warm days, I think we'll see a marked increase in the shad fishery moving forward into next week. So that's something cool. While we're in the Connecticut River region, let's check in now with Rowan Lytle.
Howdy folks, now it's really starting to feel like spring here in central Connecticut, finally. The herring are making pretty significant appearances this week and should continue to, especially since we have warmer nights coming up. Stripers making their way out of their holdover sites into their early season feeding spots. The smallmouth fishing is kind of modestly decent. They're actually starting to spread out a little bit now that the water's warming up and dropping and clearing. The carp fishing has been phenomenal. I am pretty much solidly booked for carp and smallmouth for the rest of the month of April. May should be looking really good for the carp and smallmouth too. But the big news is definitely the river herring. I saw a fair number today in some various tributaries. An important note, there's lots of reports of poaching going on, both schoolie and over slot size bass and river herring. And it is very important that all of us that observe anything suspicious like that report that to the TIP hotline, the DEP turn-in poachers number, easily found online. Whether you believe or not that an officer is actually going to come out to the scene, it's a good idea to report to them with whatever information you can, because at the very least, even if someone's not able to dispatch to that particular spot at that time, the more people are reporting from similar spots or the same spots, the more they're aware that those spots are problem areas. So if you see poaching activity, please report it, and you better not be poaching in my herring runs, because you're in for it. So get out there, enjoy the first beautiful, real, proper, withstanding spring weather here, and catch some fish.
Charter season has begun for Captain Mike Roy at Reelcast Charters, and here's a quick report from him.
Hey, what's up everybody? We've officially started the 2024 fishing season. The striper bite has improved over the past couple days with the warmer weather. Generally, when the water's cold, the stripers are lethargic and it's hard to get them to bite, but we've had a few days of warmer weather and that's really turned them on. The hot lure right now is the 5 3/4 inch finesse fish on a half ounce Titan HD jig head. That's working really well. They're not quite hitting topwater yet. I think hopefully by next week, if we get some more warm weather, they should start hitting on top, which is going to be a lot of fun. We do have a couple openings next week, so if you're interested, reach out. That's all I have for you for right now. Good luck.
Next up, we'll head down toward the mouth and check in with Matt Stone at Black Hall Outfitters.
What's up everyone, Matt here at Black Hall Outfitters in Westbrook with this week's fishing report. We continue our steady march towards spring and warmer weather and more active fish. Things are definitely picking up out there. I've been able to locate holdover stripers. They've been active, feeding pretty hard, for who they are. And we're kind of just waiting. We're hearing, you know how it is. We're hearing all those stories from south of us and just waiting for those fish to make their way north, which should happen over the next month or so here. So holdovers definitely active. I've been using 5-inch weightless flukes or little 4-inch paddle tails will work great. 3/8 ounce jig head is really all you need. You can go up to a half if you want, or quarter even. And other than that, freshwater definitely getting warmer. Prespawn bass has been good. Jigs have been good. Little swim baits, little Kitex, like a ball head jig have been catching. Crappie still active as ever in these warmer, these warmer mornings. You'll see them on the surface. They're always fun to go for and delicious to eat. Trout has been great. If you can kind of get around these weird murky or high water moments with all these rainstorms that keep cycling through, you can find a pretty good bite. There's been some great trout caught recently locally, and the stocking program is obviously enhancing that as well. So that's what's going on. The tog bite locally, we only get the month of April here in Connecticut. It usually doesn't pick up until now-ish, maybe even a week or so from now. If you go west into the Sound, you're going to have warmer water and a better chance at some tog. I know those guys have been doing decently well over in the Western Sound. Locally here in the Central Sound, should take another week or so. You might be able to scratch out a few here and there, but usually the last 10 days, 15 days or so of the month are the best ones for us. All right, get out there, happy spring, and enjoy it.
The further west you go from the Connecticut River, the better your chances of finding a striped bass in the Sound. I don't know anyone who's doing it from a boat right now. It's all shore, it's all beach stuff, but there are fish, and the further west you go, the better the chances get. We've seen fish up to 35 inches coming off the beaches, especially out toward Norwalk. But really, any one of the tidal estuaries is worth a try. These fish are going to head up into all of them looking for bait. And I'd say the average fish right now is in the low 20-inch class. We're hearing some fish on top water as well. Inland, we're seeing some good trout happening. Guys are getting them all along, and in heavy anticipation of the harvest season opening up. Got a really nice photo here from Nick Bolanos of a big brown trout that he caught. Love seeing a little kid getting in on the fishery and enjoying himself like it looks like he is. And for a little bit more on that and other things happening out in the western end of the state, let's check in now with Max Finch from Fisherman's World.
Hey everyone, Max here from Fisherman's World with another local fishing report. It's a beautiful day. I'm getting my boat ready like a lot of others today. The fish are around, so now's the time to get your boat on the water. I have a feeling it's going to be another early season run like last year. Fishing locally, Norwalk River, the Saugatuck tidal part of the river has been really good for bass fishing. We've seen some really nice sea run browns also caught in the mix. Guys are catching them, on SP minnows as bycatch, but if you really want to target these fish, they are around. So if you put in the time, you could be rewarded with one of these unicorns. The Housatonic is still fishing really well. There's fish being caught throughout the whole river now. So we got fish dumping out, you got fish upriver, chasing the herring that are showing up. So if you really want to target some of these bigger fish, the best bet is still concentrate way far upriver, like the Naugatuck and all the way up to the dam. That's where the river herring are going to run up to the spring, and the bass are going to follow them. Down at the mouth, this is a really good time of year for you fly rod guys to really get on the action. It's not uncommon to have like 30, 50 fish days when these fish are really dumping out. Sinking lines are really good with the clouser. That's the best bet, trying to get these fish. Short beach, the sandbars are really good spot to try.
To the western sound, we've seen some fish to, you know, pushing the mid 20-pound range on the troll. Guys are trolling umbrellas and mojos. These are most likely fish that are going to make the run up to the Hudson and spawn and then come back down. And then locally, the blackfish bite, we've heard of some good bites. You know, not a lot of people are out yet, but you know, the fish are being caught, I would say, in that like 10, 15, 20 foot range. This is the time of year where, you know, they spawn, so they come in shallow. Remember to try to release the females, you know, to preserve our future fishery for the blackfish. On the freshwater side, the trout fishing's fishing really well. You know, the state's been stocking the past couple weeks in our area. The Mianus, the Saugatuck, the Mill River, the Norwalk River. Georgetown area has been good. It's all catch and release right now till this Saturday, then you can start harvesting. And also the Saugatuck Reservoir will also open up this Saturday. Thanks and good luck.
That's what I have for you guys in the reports this week. Hopefully it's going to inspire you to get out there. We got beautiful weather. We've got lots of fisheries that are popping off right now. Some really big fish caught. I mean, a state record, a potential state record lake trout in Massachusetts. Some really nice largemouth, some really nice striped bass coming out of some of the holdover spots. You know, great fishing going on right now. If you're not a subscriber to The Fisherman, I highly recommend you head over to our website. That's thefisherman.com. You get a full taste of what we offer. We cover all the fishing from Delaware to Maine. We do a lot of travel stuff that reaches outside the region, and we cover every angling discipline that you can pretty much think of, from surf and inshore. We got fly stuff, we got paddleboard stuff, we got kayak, we got offshore. And it's $30 for the year, $29.99 to sign up. You're going to get 12 paper issue magazines, you know, sent to your house. You're also going to get 26 digital editions sent to your email box. You get access to all of our back issues, and you get access online to the other 2 editions. So we have New Jersey, we have Long Island, and we have New England. You'll get access to all those on the website. But if you go and look and you're still not convinced, at the very least, give us a like and subscribe here on YouTube and hit that little bell thing right there so you get a notification every time we post something new. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.